Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like over on Prizepicks for the Week 6 Thursday Night Football game between the Seahawks and the 49ers. This should be a pretty good game on Thursday night. I'm excited to watch this one. We're already into Week 6 of the NFL season. This season has completely flown by, man. It felt like, not even a week ago I was making my first NFL video of the year, and we're already into Week 6. But we've got some player props to talk about that I do like for this Thursday Night Football game. We're going to give out 2 picks in this video. We're going to talk about a prop I like on the Seahawks side and then a prop I like on the 49ers side. And as always, we're going to break down these plays and we're going to share why I like them. So before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up. Use promo code NOAH. When you place your first lineup over on Prizepicks, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account as long as you sign up and use code NOAH. So make sure to check out Prizepicks, sign up if you guys have not yet. And also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper. You guys can sign up for Sleeper as well using promo code NOAH. And when you do so, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So you put in $100, Sleeper will match that. They'll give you an additional $100 to play with. And if you're not aware of what Sleeper is, they are a DFS pick'em site app similar to Prizepicks, where you're just picking more or less on player projections. You're building out your entry. You can make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper, and you can win up to 100x your money. So go check out Sleeper, guys. And again, sign up, use promo code NOAH, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But yeah, we got 2 props to talk about for Week 6 Thursday Night Football. Do want to recap our 2 plays from our last video, which was for Monday Night Football Week 5. We made our return. I was gone for like a week or so. Not sure if you guys knew, but I didn't have power. I live in the South. We had that hurricane come through. I was without power for like 8 days or so. But I returned for Monday Night Football game. Gave out 2 props for that game and hit both of them easily. We took Travis Kelce over 57.5 receiving yards, which cashed in the first half. And then we took Rashid Shaheed over 10 fantasy score, which also cashed in the first half. So it was a sweat-free cash on Monday night. I love getting those sweat-free cashes, man. Those are the best. I mean, when you can just watch a game, not even have to worry about a play hitting, coming down to the wire. When they hit early on, it's the best feeling ever. So hopefully we can get some more of those sweat-free cashes. Hopefully we can get 2 more of those for this Thursday Night Football game. But hopefully you guys tailed for Monday Night Football. Won some money with us. Let's try and run it back, make some money on this Thursday Night Football game. So looking at the first prop that I like for Thursday Night Football, we're going to take a look at a targets prop. So on Prizepicks and on some other DFS apps, you can take target projection. So you can take whether you think a guy has more or less than a certain number of targets. You're betting on volume here more than anything. It doesn't matter if a player catches 6, 7 passes. You just want them to get the opportunity. And one guy that I like to get a lot of opportunity, that's been getting a lot of opportunity as of late, is Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I do like him for more than 7 targets. So if you look at JSN's game log this season, Week 1 against Denver in a tough matchup, he did only have 2 targets, but then he got a ton of volume. Week 2 against the Patriots, 16 targets. Only had 3 targets against Miami in Week 3, but that was also a game where the Seahawks won easily. They won by 21 points. Geno Smith in that game did still have 34 pass attempts, but it was not a game where Seattle really had to throw the ball a ton. And then against Detroit, Geno Smith had a ton of pass attempts. Jackson Smith and Njigba got 12 targets. And then last week against the Giants, he pushed this line and had 7 targets. One thing to note about this Seattle team, they are throwing the ball a ton this year. They have historically not been a pass-heavy offense, because when they had Pete Carroll at head coach, they were a team that really liked to establish the run. They would run the ball a ton. Pete Carroll's no longer the head coach, and Seattle is no longer a run-first team. They are definitely a pass-first team, and Geno Smith is actually leading the league in pass attempts total this season. He's throwing the ball a ton. You look at Geno Smith's game log this year, 25, 44, 34, 56, and 40 pass attempts. And if you look at his projection for Thursday Night Football, his pass attempts projection, that line's at 35.5. So clearly the sports books are expecting plenty of pass attempts for Geno Smith. And if you look at Geno Smith's pass attempts, his stats this season, he's gone under this line in 2 out of 5 games. So he went under Week 1, over Week 2, under Week 3, over Week 4, over Week 5. You compare that to Jackson Smith-Njigba and his targets line, and it's pretty much identical. JSN also went under Week 1, but then went over Week 2, under Week 3, over week 4 and then pushed on week 5. So I think there's a little bit of correlation here between JSN's targets projection and Geno Smith's pass attempts projection. I think if Geno Smith goes over his pass attempts, very likely that JSN also goes over targets. If Geno Smith goes under pass attempts, JSN might go under targets. So if you wanted to play these two props together, I think you could definitely do that. Now, Prizepicks has started to really cut down on the payouts for correlation. So like you can see, it already cuts the payout down to 2.75x when you pair these two together. And if you play another pick on the 49ers side, you're not going to get 5x. You're going to get like 4.5x. So you kind of have to play around with it, but I do think there's correlation with these two props played together, so you could do that if you wanted to. But because you do get a payout shift, I'm going to take out Geno Smith pass attempts. But just looking at Geno Smith's pass attempts line for Thursday night, 35.5. The books are expecting plenty of pass attempts for him here. And JSN has become a top target in this Seahawks offense. He's second on the team at target share. He's only seen 3 fewer targets this season than DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is leading the team with 43 total targets, but JSN is right behind him with 40 targets. And then it drops off to Tyler Lockett at 32 targets. And then Zach Charbonnet, a big drop off, 22 targets. So you can clearly see the volume in this Seattle offense is heavily revolved around DK Metcalf, JSN, and Tyler Lockett. Like there's not really any other receivers getting targets. You do get some targets to the running backs. Noah Fant will get some targets, but these 3 receivers, Lockett, Metcalf, JSN, those are the guys soaking up a lot of the volume from Geno Smith. And JSN at 7 targets, I do like the over here. You can look and see he has a receptions line set at 5. If he gets 5 or more receptions, I think he's got a pretty good chance at also getting 7 or more targets. Him and DK have the same receptions line, yet DK has a targets projection that's 1 higher. He has an 8 targets line, whereas JSN has a 7. I think these lines should be the same. They have the same receptions line. I think they should probably have the same targets line as well. So I do like this over as our first prop for Thursday night. We're going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba for more than 7 targets. And then the other prop that I like to pair with it is a receptions prop. And we're going to take George Kittle for more than 4 receptions. So you look at George Kittle's game log this season. He's been a lot more consistent this season than he has been in previous seasons. George Kittle used to be, like a few seasons ago, he used to be like one of the best fantasy tight ends. And then he started to have kind of some boom bust seasons. He would pop off for big games, but then he would have some duds. And then he'd pop off for a big game, and then he'd have some duds. Well, so far this season, we've seen George Kittle be a lot more consistent. He's been consistently involved in the 49ers passing game. Week 1 saw 5 targets, 4 catches for 40 yards. Week 2, 8 targets, 7 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Week 3, 4 targets, 4 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. And then last week against the Cardinals, 12 targets, 8 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. He scored a touchdown in 3 straight games. He's pushed this receptions line in all 4 of his games this season. And now he gets a pretty good matchup against Seattle. Seattle has been pretty vulnerable to opposing tight ends. Just to start the season, they're top 10 in targets, receptions, and receiving yards allowed to tight ends. And if you look at the tight ends that Seattle has faced, they haven't really faced many good tight ends outside of Sam Laporta. And Sam Laporta had 4 catches for 53 yards against Seattle. But Hunter Henry had 12 targets, 8 catches for 109 yards against the Seattle team. Theo Johnson had 5 catches for 48 yards against Seattle. So Seattle's allowed some big games to tight ends. And they've yet to face, outside of Sam Laporta, they've yet to face a really good tight end. Obviously, George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the league, and so far this season, he's been really good. He's kind of looked like one of the best fantasy tight ends like he used to be. Had a few down seasons where he was kind of boom bust, but now he's been a lot more consistent. This season, been a lot more involved in the passing game. And the 49ers, they're going to be a team that's going to run the ball plenty. Jordan Mason's been getting a ton of volume on the ground. You should still see a decent amount of pass attempts for Brock Purdy. He's got a 31 pass attempts line for Thursday night. If Brock Purdy throws the ball 31 times or more, I think we got a pretty good chance of getting at least 4 catches for George Kittle. And you can look at Brock Purdy's game log this season. He's gone over this line only in 2 out of 4 games, but even week 2 against LA when he only had 30 pass attempts, you still saw George Kittle in that game. Well, George Kittle didn't play that game, but you did see, week 1 against the Jets. Brock Purdy only had 29 pass attempts, but George Kittle still had 4 catches. Against Minnesota, Purdy did have a decent amount of pass attempts, 36. Kittle had, in that game, 7 receptions. Week 3, he didn't play that game. Kittle didn't play that game against the Rams. But then week 4 against New England, Brock Purdy only had 27 pass attempts. George Kittle in that game still had 4 catches. So, like, there's definitely a chance, even if the 49ers don't throw the ball as much, like, let's say Brock Purdy only has 25, 26 pass attempts, you could easily still see George Kittle get 4 catches. And if Brock Purdy goes over this pass attempts line, if he has 32, 33, 34, 35 pass attempts, then I think we got a pretty good chance at 4 catches here for George Kittle. But I like the matchup a lot for Kittle. I like that he's consistently getting involvement in the passing game this year, which we haven't kind of seen in previous seasons. Last season, the season before, Kittle would have some games where he would get a bunch of targets, a bunch of volume, but then they would drop off and he'd only see a few targets. He was very, very up and down last season, but he's been really consistent this season, getting heavy involvement. And again, I think the matchup's pretty good here against the Seattle team that's top 10 in targets, receptions, and receiving yards allowed to tight ends. Tight ends have had a lot of success against Seattle so far this season. So this is what we're going to roll with, guys, is our 2 props for Thursday Night Football, Seahawks and 49ers. We're going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba for more than 7 targets and George Kittle for more than 4 receptions. So if you guys are going to tell me on these 2 plays for Thursday night, let's try and hit both these plays. Let's try and keep it rolling, guys. Got a win on Monday Night Football. Let's see if we can get another win here on Thursday Night Football. As always, guys, appreciate you watching these videos, supporting the Prizepicks content. Make sure you hit that like button down below if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to sign up. Use promo code NOAH. When you place your first lineup, you'll instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account when you sign up with that code NOAH. So check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. But good luck tonight. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Let's win some money, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.